Okay, we'll go far right, 50, belly on blue, ready?
NFL 81 began with high-blown hopes in September and ended 4 months later in a whirlwind finish. There were more teams grabbing for a piece of the playoffs than ever before. For some, the high times began in the very first week. Teams like the Kansas City Chiefs.
Bradshaw takes, fumbles the snap, it's loose, picked up on the play by the Chiefs. Rolling out in front of the field is Thomas Howard, and he will go all the way.
Led by their aggressive young defense and rookie sensation Joe Delaney, number 37, the Chiefs made the most of every opportunity and ran away with their first winning season in 9 years. The Philadelphia Eagles began the season like a rising rocket, winning their first 6 games. But the second stage never ignited, and they plummeted to earth, losing 6 of their last 8. Few bubbles burst quite so dramatically as the defending world champion Oakland Raiders. In 1980, number 16 Jim Plunkett had come off the bench to lead Oakland to a Super Bowl title. But in 1981, Oakland finished under 500 for the first time in 17 years. In the middle of the season, the Raiders collapsed completely and were shut out in 3 consecutive games. 1981 was a year in which hard times often brought out the best in people. The Miami Dolphins lost their starting linebacker in a car accident, and their first-round draft choice defected to Canada. But they responded to the leadership of their coach Don Shula and rewarded him with a surprising AFC Eastern Division title. The New York Jets came from nowhere to finish second to the Dolphins, due in large part to the league's best pass rush, the sack exchange. En route to their first winning season in over a decade, these Jets showed character in the clutch.
Come on, New York! Don't give up, New York! Get tough, New York! Give it to us, New York!
21 seconds remaining. These fans are on their feet as Todd is back to pass. He's looking into the end zone. Touchdown!
New York won a wild card playoff berth, and so too did the Buffalo Bills. Propelled by the most explosive offense in franchise history, Buffalo won games in ways that no one thought possible.
Now Ferguson wants the crowd to quiet down. 12 seconds left. Dropping back in the pocket, looking. There's the Hail Mary, headed for the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown! Caught for a touchdown! I don't believe it! Caught for a touchdown!
I don't believe it either.
Incredible! A remarkable play. Never in my life have I seen an ending like this one. What a finish!
Just as there were unexpected winners, there were unexpected losers as well.
Incredible!
Each week, the talented New England Patriots fell on hard times. And when they met the Baltimore Colts on the season's last Sunday, history was made. Never before had 2 teams sharing so many losses played each other. It was a day when the NFL, which spends millions deciding its best, spent an uncomfortable afternoon forced to decide its worst. The Patriots lost, and thus earned a special place within a special season, NFL 81. NFL 81 saw parity popping up throughout the league, and it was a season that showed how one individual with special talents could turn a perennial loser into a sudden winner.
I went to the movies and saw Superman 1, and I went to the movies and saw Superman 2. But then I said to myself, I said, now I'm playing with Superman 3, and that's Lawrence Taylor.
The feats of Taylor and his teammates left Giants fans in awe as they won a playoff berth for the first time in nearly 2 decades. Some of the NFL's youngest players were its brightest stars in 1981. Number 38, George Rogers of New Orleans, led the NFL in rushing and reaped a harvest of Rookie of the Year honors. In only his 3rd season, unheralded free agent Steve Watson, number 81, caught a league-leading 13 touchdown passes and scored on the season's longest reception, 95 yards. When second-year quarterback Eric Hipple assumed command of the Detroit Lions in the season's 7th week, the Lions soared into contention in the NFC Central. Hipple played with poise seldom seen in one so young, and he made all things seem possible, even a win over the Dallas Cowboys. Left with only 11 seconds, but with 12 men, the Lions upset the Cowboys on the game's very last play.
Coming in is Ed Murray. He's in there now. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. It'll be from the 37. Here's the kick, and he boots it, and it is good! And the clock runs out. Will you believe the finish of this one?
Hipple's grin, grit, and enthusiasm rejuvenated Detroit. But in the end, the Lions could not overcome a spirited mutiny in the Central Division, led by number 12 Doug Williams and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On the last week of NFL 81, the Buccaneers beat the Lions 20-17 to win their 2nd Central Division championship in 3 seasons. In a year when almost every team had its highs and lows, the Dallas Cowboys remained a fixed star. Once again, the Cowboys used their muscle and mystique to make the playoffs for the 15th time in the last 16 years. And their 16th consecutive winning season included another Eastern Division championship. While the Cowboys were the model of consistency, Don Coryell's San Diego Chargers were a frustrating puzzle. Their offense had the right combination, gaining more yards than any team in the history of the NFL. However, the pieces never seemed to fit on defense. Opposing teams scored easily and often against the San Diego pass defense that gave up more yards than any team in league history. Led by quarterback Dan Fouts, the Chargers were the highest scoring team in the league. But whatever their magnificent offense earned, their dreadful defense gave away. Between these extremes, however, the Chargers won the AFC West and earned the right to meet the Dolphins in the playoffs. On a hot, humid night in Miami, the Chargers' entire season was summed up in a single game. The Chargers exploded to a 24-0 lead. But the ghost of past failures came suddenly alive as San Diego's defense allowed Miami to come back, score 38 points, and take a 7-point lead in the fourth quarter. Despite a bruised shoulder, a pinched nerve, and a case of heat exhaustion, All-Pro tight end Kellen Winslow caught 13 passes for 166 yards and 1 touchdown. Always recognized for his great skill, now it was number 80's courage that carried his team through their greatest challenge. On the final play of the fourth quarter, Winslow blocked a field goal to send the game into overtime. After 74 minutes and 76 points, Rolf Benerschke's field goal ended what may have been the most exciting game in the history of pro football. In 1981, the San Diego Chargers were not a team of destiny. But as this victory proved, they certainly were one of daring and drama. NFL '81 was a Cinderella season for the San Francisco 49ers. Together, they rose to power in the NFC West behind the leadership of ex-Notre Dame quarterback Joe Montana, who had been groomed for greatness by head coach Bill Walsh.
If we call ADX hook again, and they got bumping one on Dwight, we'll just have Dwight run a full-speed slant.
Walsh's wizardry tamed the raw natural skills of Montana, a man with the quickest feet since Fred Astaire. Always on the move, Montana's favorite target was Dwight Clark, number 87, who caught over 80 passes for the second year in a row. The team everyone expected to falter never did, as Bill Walsh gave the young 49ers stability and composure, even when complaining to the officials.
You guys made an error there. That was a lateral from upstairs. We didn't see it either, but it was a lateral, that last pass.
Walsh's team could play defense as well. Led by veteran middle linebacker Hacksaw Reynolds, the 49er defense manhandled opponents and helped San Francisco run away with the NFL's most victories and a division crown. The 49ers raced from obscurity into the NFC Championship, where they faced the mighty Dallas Cowboys. In this wicked hitting war with America's team, the lead changed hands all afternoon. The Cowboys gliding ahead, only to be outmaneuvered by Montana's quick feet. With 4.5 minutes remaining and Dallas clinging to a 6-point lead, the Cowboys went to a prevent defense with 6 defensive backs. San Francisco crossed up the Cowboys by staying on the ground. driving from the 49er 10 to the Dallas doorstep.
58 seconds remaining at the 6-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. Everything hangs in the balance now. The season, the outcome of a Super Bowl berth hangs in the balance. He has the ball. Montana rolling out the right, looking toward the end zone, throwing under pressure, throws his pass, caught by Clark. Clark got a touchdown. Clark has it.
For the first time in franchise history, the 49ers were NFC champions, earning a berth in Super Bowl 16. After snoozing through 3 straight last-place finishes, in 1981, Cincinnati Bengal owner Paul Brown woke up the team with outrageous new uniforms. The players didn't know whether to laugh or cry.
I tell you the truth, when you're wearing a helmet like that, it's one of those situations you either got to put up or shut up. You either got to play or they're going to laugh you out of the league.
Cincinnati looked like a traveling sideshow. And sure enough, in the first game of the 1981 season, these Tigers with new stripes turned out to be the same old Cincinnati Bungles. The Seattle Seahawks raced to a 21-point first-half lead. But a flicker of life remained for the team with the Halloween helmets as third-string quarterback Turk Schonert came off the bench to lead an unbelievable comeback win over Seattle. This victory lifted the curse off the Bengals, who were led by unsmiling Forrest Gregg, a Hall of Famer as a player, and a stern disciplinarian in the model of his former coach, Vince Lombardi.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Pat kicks like somebody with a busted knuckle. Great kick, Pat, great kick. I hope you do that in the Pro Bowl.
Forrest Gregg was tough.
Well, kick the damn thing, for sake.
And as the season progressed, he watched his young team take shape. What he saw melted the Iron Mask, and for the first time he could see greatness for a team which had won just 6 games in 1980.
I never felt until just recently that these people were tough enough. But mister, they have convinced me now. They get after people, and that's what I like.
The Bengals were wide awake and back on the prowl. A team as vibrant as its new stripes. After years of playing with great skill, quarterback Kenny Anderson now played with heart. And his courage earned him the NFL Player of the Year award for leading his team into the playoffs. Against San Diego in the AFC Championship, a wind chill factor of 59 degrees below zero turned the contest into a test of wills. San Diego's famed Air Coryell failed to navigate the turbulent Arctic headwinds. However, the Bengals and courageous Ken Anderson defied the elements with flawless execution. In the end, this glorious icy afternoon belonged to the men in the funny helmets, men who now wore their stripes as a symbol of pride. Cincinnati beat San Diego, and Forrest Gregg was off to the Super Bowl, the first man ever to appear there as a player and as a coach. Super Bowl 16 featured 2 teams that were new to the event. And when the San Francisco 49ers met the Cincinnati Bengals, each pulled out all of the stops in pursuit of their first world title. The game was decided by takeaways. The Bengals committed 4 costly turnovers, and the 49ers turned them into the largest halftime lead in Super Bowl history, 20-0. But in the second half, the Bengals caught fire. Their comeback hopes blazed to life as Kenny Anderson led them to a 21-point second half. But the one touchdown that would have won the game for the Bengals was smothered beneath the greatest goal line stand in Super Bowl history. Four times, the 49ers arose to turn back the Bengals. It was a feat that earned them the World Championship of Professional Football and a fitting conclusion to a great season, NFL 81.
Good morning, 4 News Radio 95. In the city right now, the relative humidity is 66%, southwesterly winds at 21, giving us a wind chill factor of 25 degrees below zero.
Hey, Super Bowl hats here. Both team hats here.
High winds and very cold temperatures are the main factor to contend with a wind chill index 25 to 35 below zero and strong winds. It is most treacherous of all for pedestrians right now. Sidewalks are glazed over most of the area. If you have a chance to hire someone or do it yourself, try to get that ice cleared.
Perhaps in one respect, Detroit's Silverdome was an appropriate site for the Cincinnati Bengals to meet the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams had come in from the cold to feel the warm glow of success after years of bitter disappointment and failure. Neither team had ever appeared in a Super Bowl before, and they arrived in markedly different frames of mind. The 49ers appeared confident and relaxed. Coach Bill Walsh set the mood for his team earlier in the week when he donned a bellman's uniform and helped his players with their luggage. The Bengals, on the other hand, seemed anxious and grim, proud survivors of a difficult voyage under a demanding captain, Coach Forrest Gregg. Super Bowl history suggests the team that scores first wins the game. It had happened in 13 of 15 previous Super Bowls, and when Amos Lawrence of the 49ers fumbled away the opening kickoff, the Bengals had a chance to test that statistic. But they blew the test and then would become a victim of it. With the ball on the San Francisco 10-yard line, Kenny Anderson's pass was intercepted by Dwight Hicks, who returned the ball to the 32. From there, the 49ers would begin their quest for that all-important first touchdown that in Super Bowls past had usually shaped the action for the rest of the game. In 1981, Bill Walsh guided his 49ers to the NFC title with an offense that controlled the ball by passing rather than running. In Super Bowl 16, 5 of the first 6 49er plays were passes. When they crossed midfield, the 49ers unveiled another aspect of Walsh's diverse game plan. An exotic flea flicker pass from Joe Montana to Charlie Young gained 14 yards. 3 plays later, Walsh had another surprise for the Bengals. The 49ers left tackle, Dan Audick, moved over to the right side and lined up between guard Randy Cross and tackle Keith Farnhorst, giving the 49ers 4 blockers on the right side while leaving just 2 on the left. Bill Ring gained 7 yards running out of this unbalanced line. It was a little thing, but in Walsh's meticulous, precise offense, it is the sum of little things that count. A short pass to Freddie Solomon left the 49ers 1 yard away from the all-important first touchdown of Super Bowl 16.
Calling his signals as Joe. He's going to sneak it. He's in. A 49er touchdown.
The 49ers are on the board, and they made it look rather easily as they went 68 yards to score.
Super Bowls often bring out the little old lady in mighty football teams, but the 49ers protected their lead with a defense that was just as daring and creative as their offense. Fred Dean, number 74, the all-pro defensive end, was used once as a roving linebacker in the first quarter. Dean's blitz was picked up, but Keena Turner got in for the sack. A more significant blow was struck by cornerback Eric Wright in the second quarter. Anderson completed a pass to Chris Collingsworth at the 49er 8. But Wright stripped the ball from Collingsworth and Lynn Thomas recovered. The ball-hawking 49er secondary had again snuffed out another Cincinnati scoring opportunity.
Brown right slot, F right, halfback counter, 14-0.
The 49ers took over the ball 8 yards from their own goal line. And from there began the longest touchdown march in Super Bowl history. Like the 49ers' first scoring drive, this one consisted not of a few big plays, but a lot of small ones, executed with precision and without error. With the ball on the Bengal 11, the 49ers called a play they hadn't used in 2 years.
Here's Montana throwing toward the end zone. Caught on the run by Cooper. He's got it. He's into the end zone. A 49er touchdown.
Earl Cooper drifted off into the left flat. Nobody picked him up over there. And a very, very well-conceived 49er offense has resulted in 3 or 4 wide-open receivers this afternoon.
The pass play that ended this 92-yard drive began with Earl Cooper faking a dive into the line. Freddie Solomon and Mike Schumann, the wide receivers on the left side, lured 3 defenders into the end zone. Then Cooper slipped unguarded into their vacated area to receive Montana's short pass. The befuddled Bengals encountered still another aspect of Bill Walsh's clever game plan on the ensuing kickoff. David Versa misplayed Ray Wershing's squib kick, and the resulting poor field position led to a 49er field goal that made the score 17-0 late in the second quarter. Walsh had discovered this unique kickoff in the season's opening game in Detroit, when an injury had prevented Wershing from booming his kicks. Walsh noted the funny results on the hard surface of the Silverdome, so he turned accident into design. And with 15 seconds left in the first half of Super Bowl 16, the Bengals fumbled Wershing's second squib kick, and the 49ers recovered. Wershing kicked the 26-yard field goal, and the 49ers ended the second quarter with the largest halftime lead in Super Bowl history, 20-0. Like a smoldering fire, the Bengals could be smothered by another mistake or fanned to life by a touchdown. At the start of the third quarter, Kenny Anderson sparked a Bengal drive with a variety of short passes. Then he culminated the 83-yard march with a 5-yard scramble for Cincinnati's first touchdown. The cool ingenuity of Bill Walsh had shaped the character of the first half. Now the mad fury of Forrest Gregg's defense would dominate the third quarter.
It out! Get him again!
When Green comes in on second down, he's going to run his ass. Should be alert, second and long, to run that 36, 34 over there.
In the third quarter, the 49er offense was limited to 8 plays for a grand total of 4 yards.
The guy's playing so loose. He's playing the inside, take it up and break it. Don't chase him in. You're getting yourself covered by the inside linebacker.
On the bend in?
On the out route, on the 63.
Late in the period, a 49-yard bomb from Anderson to Collingsworth put the Bengals in position to score their second touchdown. With the ball on the 5-yard line, the 49ers committed what could have been a costly error. Linebacker Keena Turner didn't hear the call to go out on the field, and San Francisco lined up with only 10 men. Pete Johnson was held to just 2 yards, but it was enough for a first down, and set the stage for the greatest goal line stand in Super Bowl history. Like the game itself, the outcome of this goal line stand would be determined by a collection of small things, some done well, some not. With it first down and goal to go at the 3, 49er tackle John Coma was not blocked. A missed assignment allowed him a clean shot at Pete Johnson, and with help from Danny Buns, Coma held the huge fullback to a 2-yard gain. Second down and 1 from the 1. Watch center Blair Bush, number 58, make a leaping but futile attempt to reach Jack Reynolds, number 64. Bush was too late, as Reynolds anticipated the play and delivered a stunning blow that helped stop Johnson for no gain. Bush would have preferred not to jump, but he was forced to by the charge of Archie Reese, and by the time he landed, Reynolds was on his way to the ball carrier. Actually, there were 2 missed blocks on this play. Anderson had called a blocking audible at the line of scrimmage. The man in motion, David Versa, was supposed to block Craig Pookie, but Versa didn't hear the audible, and Pookie jammed the play for no gain. Third down and 1 from the 1. Anderson passed to running back Charles Alexander, but Danny Buns dropped him 12 inches short of the goal line. It was an outstanding play by Buns and another critical mistake by the Bengals. The play called for Alexander to get into the end zone before he turned for the ball, but he made his cut too short, and Buns made him pay for his mistake by tackling him immediately. Fourth down and 1 foot.
The Bengals now as Ken Anderson is ready from the 2-foot line, calling signals on 4th down, has the ball, hands it off. He's met at the goal line. I don't believe he got in. I don't believe he's in there. The 49ers have held, and listen to the Niners crowd across the way.
The final play in the 49ers' magnificent stand was, in the best sense of the cliche, a team effort. Reynolds, Buns, and Ronnie Lott converged on Johnson and stuffed him at the line of scrimmage. Cincinnati had not only lost another scoring opportunity, but they lost something just as important: time. With only 1 quarter left to play, the 49ers led 20-7.
All right, let's play football.
Although time was running out on the Bengals, their fighting spirit never flagged.
Come on, O-line!
And early in the 4th quarter, their offense retrieved some of its lost dignity with a determined 53-yard touchdown drive.
Anderson will go back to throw. Looks, fires into the end zone. Touchdown to Dan Ross. And now, the Bengals are right back in this football game.
With 10 minutes to play, the difference between the two teams was only 6 points. And the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history suddenly seemed within the grasp of the surging Cincinnati Bengals.
And you have to wonder if the 49ers aren't beginning to come apart a little bit here, Andy.
All day long, the 49ers had consistently made the little plays. Now they needed a big one. They got it when Joe Montana passed to Mike Wilson for a 22-yard gain. Walsh designed this play specifically for Mike Wilson because whenever he ran a pattern longer than 20 yards, the Bengals would cover him deep, assuming he would be Montana's long-range target. But this new play, named Sweep Pass Right Z Comeback, called for Wilson to go downfield 25 yards, then cut off the pattern and come back for a shorter pass. A tiny adjustment, but a big play, and it gave the 49ers decent field position for the first time in the second half. From this point on, Walsh went exclusively to his ground attack. Cincinnati finally stopped the 49ers' advance by sending defensive backs like Bobby Kemp, number 26, on kamikaze missions to knock out the lead blockers. The Bengals had given up too much ground, however, and Ray Wersching's 40-yard field goal restored strategic control of the game to the 49ers. Whatever small hope remained for the Bengals died on their next offensive play.
Here's Anderson backpedaling, throws a pass over the middle. And it's intercepted by Wright. He got it at the 45, the 40, down the sideline, the 25, cuts back in, still on his feet. Gets away from the tackler, then fumbles it. It's loose there at the 21-yard line. We'll see who got it.
And the 49ers have recovered a ball just short of the Bengals' 21-yard line. That might be it right there.
Eric Wright's interception led to Wersching's fourth field goal, which increased San Francisco's lead to 12 points with just 2 minutes to play. Now the Bengals were battling not only the fired-up 49ers, but an even more relentless enemy, the clock.
Run, clock, run!
Once again, the resourceful 49ers proved there are many ways to play this game and win. They let Anderson complete his passes in the center of the field, but never allowed his receivers to catch the ball near the sideline and stop the clock. So, as Anderson gained yards, he lost time. With 16 seconds left, the Bengals scored on a pass from Anderson to Dan Ross. Although the final touchdown belonged to Cincinnati, Super Bowl 16 belonged to the San Francisco 49ers.
The 49ers have won it. Bill Walsh and his staff and a team that's compounded pro football observers throughout the year, winning week after week and compiling that 13-3 regular season record.
For the first time in the 35-year history of the team, the people of San Francisco could proudly say those three magic words: World Champion 49ers.
This NFL Films production has been brought to you by the National Football League. The NFL is online at www.nfl.com.